Hi guys, welcome to our channel. Not our channel actually, it's Michelle's channel.
So hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to today's video. We're gonna get straight into it because my charge is looking at me like this, like hey Kito. And first of all, before we even delve into that, I want to say thank you so much for all the love, for all the comments, for all the interaction that we have done on our last video. It was really a lot of these things are very, very uncomfortable, but there's a quote that I read from, I think, Lynn Gogi, and she said, if you go about your life caring about other people's opinions, you'll never be able to do anything. So whatever it is that you need to do, just do it regardless of whatever people say, because you don't want the gift that is within you to die while you still have it, so it's really, really encouraging to hear and to just respond to all the comments, all the questions, all the encouragement. Thank you so much. We do not take it for granted. I always try and respond to each and every one of you guys, but
Me too.
mostly me. But if I haven't, I'll definitely try and get to you. But thank you so much for the encouragement. So let us get into today's video. Our topic for today is why forgiveness is so important, and I really just wanted to give it a very light feel and show and share some of the experiences that we have had with forgiveness, and especially when the other person is the one who has wronged us, and how it was affecting us and how we overcame it, and just to also be an encouragement to you guys. So Babi, tell us, in your life, your very nourishing, flourishing life, have you ever had or gotten into those situations where somebody really does you wrong, like when you were younger and somebody does something wrong to you, would tell them 110.
Wanted.
Oh, we used to say 110, like 110. But it was wanted.
Wanted.
I was this years old when I found out that this is wanted, not 110. Okay. Every day we learn.
Yeah.
Every day we learn.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So tell us about your experience.
Well, so me, there was another time I was like 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I got my first check from modeling. Actually, my first check from anywhere. Anywhere. Nilikuwa nimetry wasee wanipatie atacho.
But you have to talk in English because we have South African, Malawian viewers.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Humelo. Relax, man. I got you, man. So, I was like 19 and got my first paycheck from a modeling gig, and it was like the first check ever. I tried to get attachments, but I was just fresh of high school, so they're like, "What experience do you have?" I'm like, zero. I'm coming to get experience.
Why do people always say that? Like,
coming with the
give me the experience. Hey. What do you mean you want somebody who is 20 years old with 7 years experience? What do you mean? 20 years old, 7 years experience.
It's like you only Warren Buffett, man.
Okay.
Warren Buffett started doing business when he was 5 years old. He had a lemonade stand.
Yeah. So man, that one.
So that one. Yeah. So never got any opportunities. So I first got a modeling opportunity when I was a friend of mine showed me around. So introduced me to a modeling agency, and then I got a gig there. So I was paid. And then I was like, man, this money, scarcity mentality told me this money is kidogo and it's going to kwisha anytime. So we need to multiply this money.
Is that really scarcity mentality? I feel like that is investor mentality.
Okay. Investor mentality is you make a proper decision to take a certain calculated risk.
Or yours was
based on information that you have by studying the markets.
Oh, you can tell he went to Alliance, which he never lets me forget, by the way.
How can you forget? Huh?
Is that?
It's the Alliance High School. The school we love the most. So, where was I? I was in Alliance.
See what I have to deal with?
This guy, I met this guy, and then he had showed me, man, there's a way we can do some 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we get 3. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 + 2 is 4. What? You get it? So, but 2 times 2 is also 4. So I was like, you smart. You smart. So it's like, okay, so you come bring your money, and then do some 1 2 1 2, and then we make some more money.
Okay.
Then I gave him my money.
I feel like you're speaking in metaphors, but it's okay.
I cannot tell you what is 1 2 1 2. Just know it's not 3.
Okay.
So we gave him my money, and then he did what he had to do, but the plan failed, and then he disappeared.
So maybe the plan didn't fail. Maybe he
took it with him. So he disappeared, and I was like, man, I wanted to believe that he's not playing me. So anyway, I called him up. I was like, you know what? Maybe the last thing didn't go well, but let's see. Maybe after a few weeks we can get some more money, and then we try it again. So
you wanted to try again after he's gone AWOL on you?
I wanted to believe that he's not playing me.
Benefit of the doubt.
Yes, because we've been boys before.
Okay. Oh, it's not like a random stranger.
No, it's not a random stranger. Okay. It really be your own people. So anyway, nikachukua pesa ya mzazi.
Translate for Kumela.
I took my parents' money. My mama worked hard for that money.
And your mama is gonna be watching, so you should just start by apologizing to her right about now.
Mama, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mom.
The things you do when you're young.
So anyway, I took my mom's money, and then I went and did the thing, and then the thing failed. Again. And then
I feel like now this is a trend with that guy.
I'm telling you, my mom found out. My mom was pissed off, and she was so pissed off because of the amount of work she puts in to get the little money. So anyway, me, I was out on the streets at night just looking for this guy, and like keep on calling him. He's telling me, I'm coming, I'll meet you guys, and then we'll sort this out. And eventually it never happened. So someone else had to bail my mom out. And me also, like, cops on me looking for why I'm in that kind of biashara. And also, so me went under. So I switched off my phone, and I just decided to stay at home, and I cut off peeps, kabsa. I feel like I don't want stories with peeps, man.
I feel like this is like a scene from Pablo Escobar.
Escobar Gaviria. So I cut off peeps, and I wasn't going out. And I was just staying indoors, and I was feeling so depressed and down and bitter because I'd grown up with this guy, and I thought maybe it's like he was straight and he'd never play me like this.
Yeah.
And another guy also happened to come in the clique, and he knew my older cousin, and they were boys. So I didn't think like these are the people who would play me.
Yeah.
So bitterness just rang in me, and I kept on thinking about it. And my mom was telling me, you need to get out and go and find a job. There are people of your age, and they're doing things.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm not the kind of guy who wants to have a job. I'm the kind of guy to employ people. I've got business ideas.
Period.
Okay? I'm a CEO. I'm a young millionaire, you know what I'm saying? CEO millionaire. You know, I'm a bad man. I go and get it, you know what I'm saying? All day on the street, on the corners, just posted up, you know what I'm saying? I don't work for nobody. I'm a boss, man. I'll stay bossed up. Okay?
I'm loving too much. Okay.
Hey, cooler the humble pie. So
did you go look for a job eventually?
I went. Time came and I went to uni.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was right after high school.
Yes. So time came and I went to uni, and I got more modeling gigs, and that thing still kept on ringing on me because it was my first one. And
it was the first time you had been scammed.
Yes, it was the first time.
It was the first time you had been scammed.
Yes.
Guys, please let us know in the comment section, when was the first time that you were scammed? And especially if you're in Kenya, hey, these scammers. Hey, they are smart. Hey. They use precarious ways. Let us know in the comment section. When have you ever been scammed? And if you have, when or how have you been scammed? So
I went to uni, and then I used to see him out on the street.
You would see him?
I would see him out on the street, and I was just like watching him from far, but I didn't want to talk to him or move any closer to him because I just felt like, man.
Was he remorseful?
Bailas.
Like he acted like
Nothing.
nothing had happened.
Nothing.
How much had he scammed you? The first time plus the second time?
Like almost 72.
72,000.
72,000, yes.
Oh gosh. And he was acting like nothing happened?
Yeah.
Yo,
And it's like, oh, 9,
That's
72,000 was like 72 million, man.
yeah, it was a lot of money.
Yeah, you could buy a Lexus, man. No, I'm saying.
I mean,
but
not
hey,
Lexus.
man,
Yeah.
that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So as I see him out on the street, and I just didn't want to holler at him anymore. So I used to feel so bad about it. And so later on, when I got to do other businesses and I got more money to make myself feel better, I'd go out and do all the things that I ever wanted to do with money that I really felt that those are important to me. But that thing never left me. And I always used to think about it, and I felt really hurt about I had to take my mom through the pain so I can recover, and still he did the same thing. So that's something that I got to release when I got born again, and that's like
how many years was that?
7 years later.
7 years.
Yeah,
wow.
That's like 7 years later.
Like you just held on to that
Yeah.
unforgiveness and
Yeah.
that bitterness for 7 years.
Yeah, it's just with me. It's not like something I used to think about often, but whenever I thought about it, I could feel the rage in me, just in my heart, just up to chini too. Because wow. So when I started thinking, when I got born again, and I thought about all the things that Christ died for me for, and I started releasing the things that I felt against people. And this one particularly, I had to say it so many times, I forgive, and I let go. It's something that I said so often because every time I thought about it, I used to just feel that bile. And then I would say, I forgive, and I let go. And I bless them, and I pray that they succeed and they don't do this to anyone else, and they get money in a clean way. And we all get money in a clean way.
Yeah.
So it when I finally finally dawned on me that it's gone.
When did it dawn on you that it's gone?
In like, because that happened in 2009, and this probably I let go of it in 2020.
In 2009 I was in Form 1.
I was 19.
What?
Just cleared from 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started feeling it was gone in like 2020, because that's about I got born again in 2018 towards 2019. So I, even as a born again Christian, I had unforgiveness.
Yeah, and that's something that people usually think that if you, when you get born again, if there was something that you were struggling with, automatically, like just immediately it just goes.
It's not for everybody like that. There are some people who they let go of everything once. Then there's some people who the deeper it is, the harder to let go.
Yeah, especially the deeper it is, and the more it affected you, the harder usually it
and
is.
And the more you meditated on it, because we think about and all the ways you could have played it better. And maybe what if I would have done this, if I knew this guy was like this, if I talked to other person because they told me that maybe this guy is like that, and maybe I should have listened to them. And regret mixed with bitterness just boils something just toxic.
Yeah.
So I let go of it in like 2020, and I prayed to God, and I said, God, this guy, we were doing something wrong, both of us. But I feel he should not have played me this way because we came up together from school.
Yeah.
And I said, I am sorry for what I did, for my part that I played.
I'm glad you acknowledged that you had a part to play.
Yeah.
That it wasn't just you were the victim. Because you knew that wasn't right.
All this time I was a victim, by the way. Until that point, and I said, like, by the way, I'm not a victim. I also played a part in this.
Yeah.
First of all, I did something wrong with someone, and I also offended my mother.
Yeah.
And so I also called my mom, and I told her, Mom, I'm really sorry for all the pain that I've taken you through. And for that time that I did this, and for other times that I did not listen to you, and I am very sorry, and I pray that you can forgive me. And my mom said, me, I've never held anything against you. You are my child, and you'll always be my child, and I love you, and I forgive you for everything. So if my mama forgive me and God died for me, why am I going to hold on to that bitterness?
Yeah.
Why am I going to hold on forgiveness? So even me, I let go. And I said, I have done worse things, because on the scale of humanity, as we think, there are things which are worse and things which are not so bad, and we rate them like that.
Like we say,
But-
like murder is whoo, but
Eh,
lying is like.
But lying is just it's not.
It's the
I mean, I
same.
didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's what we usually.
it's a
we
white
usually say.
lie.
Yes, I didn't kill anybody. I didn't hurt anybody. But God's feelings are hurt whenever you do wrong things. So you do. I let go. I let go completely, and I forgive, and I received my forgiveness. And I usually say that we receive forgiveness because our forgiveness was taken care of over 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
But we are not receiving.
Wow.
Like you've been given a gift, but you're refusing to take it.
Yeah.
And you're saying no.
Yeah.
You're holding on to sin. Something is burning you, it's killing you inside, but you're holding on to sin, and you said, me, I'm unforgivable. Yet God, He came down, He went through it, He took the punishment that you were supposed to take. So even when we talk about forgiveness in the Bible, it's not forgiveness, because forgiveness is to say, okay, you wronged me, I've let it go.
Yeah.
But this one, God went through the pain that we supposed to go through.
Would you say
Roman
it's
crucifixion, it's atonement, yes. Roman crucifixion was the worst kind of crucifixion. It didn't just involve pain that the person had to. Most people were alive on the cross for days on end.
Yeah.
And bones have dislodged. It's hard to breathe, it's hard to stay alive, but the spirit of the man doesn't want to live. You want to stay alive, but it's hard to breathe. Just to pull yourself together in order to inhale, it's hard, it's painful. The whips that they have taken, they're coming out to chunks.
Meat.
Yeah,
Blood.
they're just coming out. Every time they hit like this, it comes. So through the meat, you can see bones. Blood vessels have been popped open. The bleeding is profuse, but it's been designed in a way that the person is not going to die. They're just going to experience hell.
It's so, I feel like it's such a sadistic way of killing someone.
Imagine it was designed. It was not like people thought, put him on the cross.
Like
people sat down
and thought about it.
So like if we whip this guy, how much blood is going to come out? No, if we use bigger hooks, is too much blood is going to die. So reduce the size of the hooks, put some bones in it, put the whip must be this long, must be made of this certain material. Everything was designed intricately to make sure that the person suffers, and he will die on the cross much later, or we have to kill him, because people never used to die, they had to be killed. Just to put them out of the misery. And it was that point that the generals felt mercy on the thieves or whoever was being. So it was shame, because they had to be crucified naked. Completely naked. So if God has gone through this, why can't I forgive?
That that is heavy what you just said. Like it really puts it into perspective of how much he went through. He chose, like not that he wasn't forced. He chose, like he literally went and chose to go through all of that for us.
Yeah. And God being all-knowing, he foresaw what he would go through. And even when it comes to time for, when you're in the flesh, when you're in spirit and you look at things happening, you can understand and you can see. But being in the flesh that you hear, and when he was in the garden, he was so stressed that he sweat blood. It's the stress, and even said, take this cup of suffering, because now he's in the flesh, and he's about to go through it, and he's over 30 years he's been a human being, and he's understanding human emotions from scratch, because he had to learn. Like he took off divinity
and put on
humanity. And now he's going through human feelings, emotions, everything, rejection, pain, growing up with brothers who you are the perfect one, because you understand the scripture much better than they do. you tend to be more obedient, you're growing up in favor with men and with God, and then comes a time you start doing miracles, and then your own people, and he says he came to his people, but his people did not accept him.
They could receive
Your
him
own
not.
people reject you, and it's written in the scriptures about you, and you come and they reject you.
I feel like it sometimes it comes from that point of kuzoyana.
Yes, familiarity.
Yeah. Like you've grown up with this guy, you know, like he has literally grown up with you. You know when he has done this, he has done that, and then now you're being told he's the Messiah.
God. He is God. Yes,
and you're like, hi.
James' own brother knew this after his resurrection, and so all this God has gone through, and me, I'm not able to forgive a guy who took $60,000 from me, $600, and over that time that we were between when he did this to me and when I was forgiving, I'd made much more than that. In a few days I would make that and flip it and back. And so even when I come to here nowadays, when someone says that this couple broke up because of irreconcilable differences, it was irreconcilable for us between God and man, but Jesus died so that we can be reconciled. His death reconciled us. It's so if we can be reconciled to God, yet God is pure and sin cannot get to where he is. So he had to take that sin, take the punishment for it to reconcile. There's nothing that is unforgivable. We just need to let go and say, you know what, you've wronged me, but I can't carry this. I can't carry this weight of unforgiveness. Yes, you did wrong to me. And I have done wrong to other people. And if you look at it that way, that you have also wronged other people knowingly or unknowingly, because we offend people without knowing. Nowadays, it's a risk to offend people whenever you open your mouth to say something.
Anything.
The gospel is offensive by itself. Everything that I'm saying right now is offending someone somewhere, despite this being the truth and love. And because we don't know how to interpret love, another thing, you don't know how to receive it, you don't know how love looks like.
Sometimes, and especially in our generation, we have thought of love as let be and let God, like just let them do whatever they're gonna do. But actually, love is the opposite of that. Is you seeing this person going down a rabbit hole and having the courage to tell them that, yo, you guys,
you're tripping.
Where you're going, it's
going
not
bad.
A good place. That is love, and that is what God calls us to. Not to just say, you know what, it's their life, let them do whatever they want to do. At the end of the day, we are responsible for each other. So it's love. I was giving this analogy to, I think, Idel. I was saying, if for example you are outside, okay, and you see a child playing on the road, what do you do?
You pull them away from
you go and pull them away from it, because you can see a truck coming. But if you just say that, you know what, let them, it's their life.
Their mama should be taking care of
it. They're the ones who crawled onto the road. That's on them. Love dictates that, no, you see the danger coming and you tell these people, or you remove this person from this situation, or you tell them, you know what, the way of life that you're going, it's not going to lead you to a right place. So you remove them from that situation, or you speak to them, or you pray for them in whatever way it is. Love dictates that. That is love. Love is me caring about my neighbor as I care about myself, and me saying that, you know what, in as much as it might look like a bother to me, let me tell you how your life can get better, instead of me just saying, you know what, you do you, or you wanna steal, okay, you do you, you wanna kill, okay, you do you. What happens to at the point when this person anachomwa tire and you didn't tell them? You know, you feel so much conviction, because you do wonder, if I had had a conversation with this guy, would that have been the thing that changed the whole course of their lives? And that's why, as Christians, it's such a heavy responsibility when it comes to the gospel, because we have been called to preach the gospel to all the ends of the earth. Meaning we have that responsibility, meaning lives are also dependent on that. And that's why I really love, and I usually feel really called to do these segments, because at the end of the day, whatever I have experienced in life, whatever you have experienced in life, you don't have to experience it for you to be able to learn from it. We can learn through each other's experiences. And you tell me, you know what, I went like this and I got scammed, and then through your experience, I'm able to learn and say, you know what, if it happened to him like that, let me not go that way, let me go this other way. So that is a really powerful testimony, and good for you for forgiving that guy.
Hey, man.
Yeah. It took a lot.
And I'm really grateful, because if it wasn't for God's love, I would probably not be a forgiving person. I can be snappy. I can be.
You don't say.
I can be a very sharp tongue.
You don't say.
Yeah. So even carrying such kinds of bitterness and unforgiveness can lead you to spilling. Usually they say you're bleeding all over other people. You've been stabbed by someone else, but you're bleeding over other people.
It's like interesting analogy.
So if you really need to take care of some things which you feel for other people, so you don't project
onto others
that pain. So for me, that was one of the things that was really deep for me, because it was a friend.
And it wasn't like a stranger, it was somebody close to you.
It was a friend. So I can say, if you're feeling like you can't forgive, let me just say there's something that is lying to you that you can't forgive. Either there's something, someone, or yourself, you're lying to yourself that you can't forgive. You can. Everybody can forgive. Jesus already went through this pain for entire humanity. Imagine if there's usually something that happens. It has happened for a long time in this world. Someone has done something wrong. The next day, that person is all over the news.
They've been cancelled.
Everybody is talking about it. Imagine between them doing that thing and you finding that news that this person repented and asked God for forgiveness. And then we are out there on the media bashing this person. And this guy is straight with God right now. So now we are piling up sin on ourselves.
And yet he has already been.
And especially if this person is a born again, now we are in the sin of attacking an anointed person. A guy who has Christ, the anointing on them. And then now we are on the media and we are keyboard warriors and we are talking about this person saying, oh, you can't do that. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? I can say this, especially if people are Christians and they're doing the wrong things. Either you talk to them personally, or you talk to someone who can talk to them, and let it be for the reason that you want to correct and not that you want to gossip.
Or to judge.
Because God has already paid for it, and anything else becomes an attack. When we look at the Bible and we say that Satan is called the accuser of the brethren, do you know the things that he says are true? Like, true in the sense that these people have done these things or said these things. But it becomes an accusation because this person is now a Christian. So now everything that you're saying about them is literally not true because God has taken it. So now it's not true anymore. Even though it's a fact, it's not true. So you become the devil in this case. You become an accuser of the brethren. And I can say, if you've ever seen any born again person, or you think this person is born again and you've talked about what they're doing and you don't find it correct, pray for them. Pray that they are able to see what they're doing is not right and things change, because our minds tend to gravitate towards sin even after we are born again, because the soul is not born again. The soul shall be saved. The soul is being saved, the body shall be saved, and the spirit is saved. So if you think that we are all perfect the moment we got born again, it's not true.
It's only your spirit.
Only the spirit is perfect. The rest we are working on it. That's why by the renewal of our mind is what we need to change.
And it's day to day. Every day.
So we had conformed to the standards of this world, but now we have to change and conform to the kingdom of God. Pray for people. Forgive. don't carry burdens of unforgiveness.
That's one of the things that you really taught me along our relationship, is that Ian doesn't hold grudges against people. Like, he would literally be in like at in an argument with somebody, and even I would catch feelings on his behalf. I'd be like, how dare they say that? The audacity. But him is like, no, you know what? It's fine. It's just work. We just disagreed on that one thing. And that perspective has really taught me a lot. Let me also share my story and my testimony, because we overcome the devil by by the blood of the lamb and the word of our testimony. Yeah. Yes. So I remember, and this is, if you have followed me or you know me from maybe my sister's channel, I've shared a little bit of this, but I also wanted to share on here. So growing up, predominantly we've grown up with my dad, just because of issues with him and my mom. So my mom ended up leaving me because I'm the last born when I was 5 months old. So my sisters had gotten a bit of experience with her. They knew this is mom. They knew this, how, what it feels like to have a mom. So my mom left when I was 5 months old, and I was only reintroduced to her a little over a year. When I remember distinctly, we were in Komarok Sector 3, and my sisters were so excited. Somebody had come, and I went outside, and I was standing like behind my sister, and I was sort of like shy, and I was wondering, why are they so excited to see this person who I don't know, I've never seen. I was like, who is this stranger? And then Dee, my big sister, she came and told me, Michelle, this is mom. And I was so confused. I think at that age, obviously there's like the embracing, but at the same time it's like, I don't know this person. And even at a young age, it really, really bothered me that why did I have to be introduced to my mom? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So now growing up, and we grew up in a very strict household, as I have mentioned in so many of our videos, and we often had phases where we would run away, where we would be in just bad, precarious positions. Some of them, most of them, us having put ourselves in it. And I remember our relationship with our dad was very, very, it was very strict. Like, you couldn't tell him anything, because right now when I think about it as an adult, I do understand the pressures that he was going through as a single parent. But back then I was like, why is he like this? Why does he treat us like this? Why does he beat us all the time? And in a way, and this might sound really, really odd, but I truly, truly believe in his own way he did his best. He honestly did his best. And could he have done better? Yes, we all can do better, but I don't put that against him. So I remember growing up, in those cases of us running away, I remember we would go to a landline. At that time, there were not a lot of mobile phones.
Landline.
Yeah, we would go to a landline just near where we lived. After now, we've run away from home, my sister and I, and we would call my mom, because we had our mom's phone number off head. Like, I remember it till now, 073. Like, I remember it. And we would call her, and it would ring, and it would ring, and this would happen so often. And we would tell her, this and this and this has happened. Please come for us. Please come for us. And you know what she would say? She would say, I'm coming. Sometimes she would say, I'm coming. Sometimes she would say, no, just try and go back home. And we would like, why are you not understanding? Like, we need to get out of this situation. So I remember, and especially on those days when she would say, I'm coming, and you guys, we would sit somewhere where we were hidden, that my dad couldn't find us because it was at night, but we were directly facing the gate, so we could see if somebody came. And guys, that was maybe like at 7 or 8 o'clock, and 9 would get there, and 10 and 11 and midnight, and there would be nobody. And I remember I felt so disappointed in those instances, because I would be like, why would she, number one, leave us? Number two, promise that she would come as we've been going through the situation, only for her not to come, and only for her to leave us into those situations. There's so many times that we spent on the streets, sleeping behind electricity poles, sleeping in our friends' homes, when it got to a point where we would feel like, now their parents have started sort of kushuku, why are these girls always sleeping here? Where are their parents? We sort of started to feel like they would go and, tell our dad that we were there, we would run away and go somewhere else. And it was just a season of hopelessness, really, because the people who are supposed to protect you are not protecting you, and they're making you feel like you can't stay there. And it was like that on and off because we've never lived with my mom. So I remember for me, I stopped running away at some point, and I just faced up to, what, this is my reality. And I sort of went back to school and I straightened my life together. And we started sort of reconnecting when I was in high school. And now, because we were a bit bigger, we would go to her house in Kitengela. I would spend a bit of time with her. I would sort of get glimpses of who she was. And I came to understand that this lady wasn't a bad lady. She wasn't a mean and carefree lady. She cared about us. But in her circumstances, she didn't know what to do, because my mom also gave birth to my sister also at 19. So she was a very young mom. She has now these 3 kids, and she doesn't know what to do with them. This is now me interpreting it later. But at the time, I was still very confused. And I even remember there was one time after my dad had gotten me a cell phone when I was in class 8 for my birthday. He had gotten me a cell phone, and there were so many times that I was so tempted to just text my mom, I hate you. There were so many times I was tempted, because I felt like she was responsible for everything that I was going through. I felt like if only you had taken us in, we didn't need to have fancy clothes or fancy shoes. We just wanted peace of mind. We just wanted you to be there for us as a mother, growing up, I never had somebody to tell for like to direct me when it came to things about periods or woman things or growing breasts or why this is happening. Often a lot of these things I would go through them alone. And I think you and you usually wonder how come I'm so like me. Guys, me can stay in the house and I'll be so I'll be so okay, and it doesn't bother me. I think because for so long in my life I stayed alone, so I got used to my company. I got used to and happy with myself. Like I can stay with myself, I watch a comedy, I laugh, I sleep, and I'm good, because that was the plate that was handed to me from a very early age. I think now maybe you can understand more that it doesn't really faze me if I don't go out and spend every waking moment with people. Like, it's nice, I'm social, I can be social, but I also really enjoy my personal space, my private area, my sanctuary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember it was always like that. And sadly enough, when I was in Form 1, and I remember I was so excited. Because my sisters had just finished high school, and I remember when I was in primary school and they were in high school, they kept saying, oh, mom came to visit us, oh, mom brought us this, oh, mom. And finally I was in high school, and I was like, finally I can get to be able to say mom came and visited me, and we actually had a relationship. In April, in my first year in high school, my mom actually passed away. And it was so devastating to me, because I remember even when my dad couldn't even tell me, it was my sister who told me. My dad just took me out of school, and he was asking me all these questions of, was your mom sick? What happened the last time you went to visit her? And I'm wondering, what are these questions? Because we never were even allowed to talk about, things to do with my mom. So immediately I got that feeling of, oh, something bad has happened. So when I got home, and after a while, and my sister asked me, did daddy tell you what happened? And I told her no. And eventually she told me, mom has passed. And I was so confused. I was like, nah, she said, her exact words were, mom is gone. So I was like, I asked her, in my mind, let me tell you, deep down, I knew, but I didn't want to accept. So I was like, she's gone where? She's traveled, Ama. Like, have you ever known something deep down in your gut, but you don't want to accept it?
Yes.
And she said, Michelle, mama amekufa, which translates to, Michelle, mom is dead. And I remember just the next few months being a myriad of emotions and just what ifs and why me. Now we've started forming a relationship, is now when she goes like, what is that about? And for years, I also harbored a lot of unforgiveness because I feel like if only she had taken us in, if only she had come when we called, if only she had faced up to this and this and this, our lives would have been better. And I remember it took me such a long time. And I used to say, I forgive you, mom, after she has passed, by the way, because these are things that I carried for so long. And the worst thing about unforgiveness is you feel entitled to it. Like, how dare this person do this to me? You know, I was the one on the right, they were the one on the wrong. How dare they do it to you? And you feel entitled and you feel like you are deserving of those feelings.
Yeah.
You're like, it's my right. No matter how much you feel like you are entitled to feel some type of way because of what somebody did to you, I can assure you that it is only hurting you, because the person on the other end is living their life like nothing happened, living la vida loca in real life. So it's so important to forgive. And God really calls us to forgive because He says that, you know, forgive that you can also be forgiven. So it's important that we reciprocate what we would like also to happen to us, you know? So yeah, that's my little testimony. It's not little, it's big. It's my huge testimony about how I was able to conquer unforgiveness. And even right now, when somebody does something, I have made it a habit to always say, the way you are saying, I forgive them and I wish them well. I forgive them and I wish them well. So you insert the name of that person. For example, I'll say, I forgive you, Ian, and I wish you well. I forgive you. And you just keep saying it. It doesn't matter if you're not feeling it. We don't operate by feelings. We just keep saying it until it really gets into the depths of you, and always praying that God helps you to be able to overcome, because unforgiveness is a spirit, and it's a spirit that can come with so many other things, bitterness, you know,
And can end up in disease.
Yeah, and it can actually end up in disease. If you guys want also like a more diverse talk on what that means, look for Dr. Michelle Stridom, yes. I'll put her name down below. She's actually a medical doctor, and she really talks about the correlation between, you know, unforgiveness and traumas and, you know, hate and bitterness to actual physical illnesses. So yeah, in conclusion, forgive. Conclusion, forgive.
Yeah.
It might not be the easiest thing to do, but with God all things are possible, and He is the one who encourages us and enlightens us and gives us the push. Gives us the push and the ability to be able to do these things, because in the flesh it's hard, but in the spirit it's very, very possible. And remember, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you, because you deserve to live a life that is free from bitterness, that is free from unforgiveness, that is happy, living really and truly abundantly in the way God created you to be.
Yes.
Yeah. So kwa hayo machache ambayo hayakuwa machache, I hope this video was a blessing and an encouragement to you guys that, you know what, there are situations and things that life sometimes throws at us, and sometimes it can be the closest of our people, and that's why those feelings are usually so deep rooted. But you owe it to yourself to be able to forgive and to be able to not carry that grudge against that person, because this life is too precious for you to walk around with that, you know, heaviness around your heart every single day.
Unforgiveness is a form of pride. It's an aspect that comes with pride, by the way, because you feel like you're entitled to feeling what you're feeling. It's your right. Like, they wronged you, so you're actually being proud that you're greater than God, because God can forgive and you can't. So you're bigger than that. And pride is one of the 7 deadly sins that they really, really corrupt people from the inside. Yeah. Praise the Lord for those who are forgiven. Praise the Lord for you who will forgive people. And I'm really thanking God for all of you for watching this video. So comment down below on what it has done for you, and share with somebody.
Yeah, who might need it.
Might need it. Yeah.
Please share, comment. Like the video, it really does help to push and to be seen by other people who are in need of content like this. And I hope you guys enjoyed and were encouraged and were blessed as usual. And kama kawaida, until next time, bye. Yeah.